Welcome to What Off Season.
We're going to go over into our divisional round for the National League. One spot with the Nationals, playing the 4th spot at the Braves. I'm not going to sit here and confidently say that I think the Braves will win this series because I don't think that they will. I'd be lying 100%. I would be lying saying that the Braves can beat the World Series champions. And I sat and I did my research on this for a minute, and I almost wanted to take the Braves just because I feel like the mentality that they're going to be stepping into this series with. But I don't feel like they'll be able to overcome the Nationals. The bullpen of the Nationals absolutely just steps all over the Braves bullpen, first and foremost. And you even get down to it, looking at the roster against the Braves, it really almost is night and day with the veteran leadership and just the consistent young pop and, the up-and-coming pop that the Nationals have. And again, like I said, it's going to be the bullpen that DQs Atlanta early on. You have Soroka and you have Fried. Mike Soroka and Max Fried. Those are the only two pitchers that you can trust consistently and put all your confidence in when it's a big game on the line. And I say that really lightly just because they're still young guys. I still trust them. But at the end of the day, the Braves don't have an ace right now. Mike Soroka is our potential ace right now, but can you name a second-year guy an ace? Does he have enough games under his belt? Strasburg, Doolittle, one of the best closers in the game. Howie Kendrick, Juan Soto, Starlin Castro, Trey Turner, Adam Eaton. I mean, the list goes on and on with the firepower that the Nationals have over the Atlanta Braves at the end of the day. And, the Braves fans will be let down, of course, for the umpteenth time as this happens. But I feel like Washington proceeds to chase their back-to-back World Series champions. Joe, I wanted to ask you, if you had to pick between the Nationals and the Braves moving forward, who's going to win this series? How many games?
I would take the Braves. It'd be a 5-game series. I could see it going 5 games with those two, just because of the division that they're in. They play each other hard. They know each other. And like you said, you brought up Doolittle, but if you actually break down Doolittle's stats, like, he had a lot of saves last year, but he also had a lot of blown saves. Both teams are actually loaded with young talent, like Juan Soto for the Nationals. It could be like the next generational player. I like Adam Eaton over there. I like these guys, but I think the Braves have enough. I know you're worried about their bullpen. I don't think they're going to have to.
Ends with the man on the mound, bro.
Yeah. And hey, I've learned it as a Dodger fan. Trust me, I've learned it. I've learned I've learned the hard way. Like, hey, but it is what it is. But I would say the Braves actually, can take it. I think they have enough offensive power to overcome the little pitching deficits, and they get there.
I feel like it's anything but little, unfortunately, just because. Like, if you look at the Braves bullpen, you've got a couple young guys who might stay consistent for you, but then you look after that and you kind of just start to draw a question mark as to who do you turn to. It's who's our closer? Who are our good relievers?
You're trying to prepare yourself.
I am.
Not get hurt again. And that's the hard thing to get over in sports, especially in baseball. That's the hardest thing to get over is that kind of pain. Like, trust me, I know what you're feeling, because I've seen it with the Dodgers in the World Series. That was the hardest thing.
The next National League divisional game I had here was the Dodgers going up against the Reds. I'm taking the Reds with the upset on the road. Joey Votto, Mike Moustakas, Nick Castellanos, Eugenio Suarez are going to be the driving factor in the win in this series. They're going to put the runs on the board at the end of the day, and the Dodgers are going to crack, in my opinion, under the pressure of being at home, along with the bullpen giving them hiccups throughout the postseason. Can Clayton Kershaw get that monkey off of his back? We really don't know, because when you're the ace, it's really like having when the quarterback can win the locker room. Are the players flocking to that ace? Are the players going to become confident when that ace is on the mound? And then therefore his energy can have that ripple effect. The Cincinnati Reds could steal this series from the Los Angeles Dodgers. And if you even look deeper, the Nationals ate the Dodgers alive last year in the postseason. The Reds are going to be hot, and they're going to just be raging with an underdog mentality. Joe, I can tell you're bursting at the seams right now to get on me, dude. Let's get into it.
Well, I'm biased, so I have to be like, I like the Cincinnati Reds. And like I said, I'm right there with you with building them up all year. But I can't put them over the Dodgers right now. I can't even with. I know I'm not high on the Dodger bullpen, just like you're not high on the Braves bullpen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not
It's
high
hard
on
to be
Joe.
confident in a team. It's almost like a quarterback question. Quarterbacks in football relate to baseball when in their starting pitchers and their aces. I mean, that's what it comes down to. It starts and ends with the quarterback. It starts and ends with the man on the mound.
But I don't know. I'm trying to be a little not biased. I mean, because I already know, like, I could see it, like I'm like you. I could see it, like, here comes Pedro Baez in the 8th inning and blowing it, and here comes Joe Kelly and blowing it. But I like Walker Buehler. I think he's going to take over as the ace in LA.
Yeah, he definitely could. I forgot about Walker Buehler. He's a
I think
monster.
Alex Wood is going to have a good season, and so those are guys like that I'm looking at. And then Gratterall is the main key, I think, that they brought in right now, and I think he's going to be that guy's going to throw some heat. And basically, they just bought him off the Minnesota Twins. If you look at the deal, basically, here's $10 million and let us have your reliever. If Boston, that was the guy that Boston was supposed to get, and they were like, "Oh, he's hurt. We don't want him." And then now he's throwing 100 miles per hour for the Dodgers.
Exactly.
So
They're
I
kicking
think they
themselves in the behind
improved.
now.
I think they improved a little bit. They have some question marks. We'll see what they do with Dustin May, because I don't know if they want him. And like you said, 60-game season, I don't know what they're going to do with starters. Because really, you don't have to go a five-man rotation. So some of these starters can be in the bullpen now, especially, and they'll be getting that work throughout the season to get there. And for me to say the Dodgers will lose to the Reds, I can't do it. That's where I'll argue with that. And I would say that the Dodgers, I don't know, 4-1 over the Reds. I think that's how powerful the Dodgers are.
I feel
in
you.
my opinion.
I feel you. Going over into the American League for the divisional round now, you got the 1-spot Yankees against the 4-spot Angels. 100%, I think this game will go 5 without a doubt. I'm confident. You have Mike Trout, Anthony Rendon, Andrelton Simmons, a former Brave, one of the best shortstops in the league. Justin Upton, still got Albert Pujols. I know Pujols is really nothing to be afraid of, but if you leave a hanger in there, I promise you he's going to send it through the yard. And at the end of the day, I think these guys are going to make it tough for the Yankees, no doubt. And, Aaron Judge, of course, Gary Sanchez, Gleyber Torres, and that beautiful bullpen that the Yankees have themselves. At the end of it all, though, the Yankees will be at home and absolutely geared up to put the Angels away in Game 5. Garrett Cole and company will ensure this, in my opinion. They're just a very strong bullpen out there in New York. And the Angels just won't have the guns to shoot and hang with the New York Yankees at the time. And just at that point in the series and at that point in the season, I feel like the Yankees come better equipped. If you had to pick between the Yankees and the Angels in a 5-game series, Joe, who are you taking?
Yeah, I'm taking the Yankees.
Yeah, all day.
Like we
all day,
said,
twice on Sunday.
yeah, and the Angels are improved. Like we already spoke about it, and it's just that the Angels have to get a couple more pieces to even be up there. And they can get to playoffs, but once you get to the playoffs, that's where you're going to get exposed a little bit.
Exactly.
And the weaknesses will come out. But yeah, I would take the Yankees, all day on them.
I feel that, man. And what's funny is I'm talking about the Angels being this far. I just have to put a disclaimer out there. If Mike Trout doesn't play, all my predictions are wrong. All my predictions are thrown out. I feel like you don't even have the Angels even making a push for the postseason without Mike Trout. Just because, Mike Trout's the best player in baseball, in my opinion. Of course, he plays for a bad team, but Mike Trout is amazing. You just look at the numbers, you look at the physicality, you look at the veteran leadership that he now has being in the league for so long. But like I was saying, disclaimer, if Mike Trout does not play, then these American League predictions are completely upside down.
And I would love to see Mike Trout win.
Go ahead, bro. You're good. Go ahead.
I would love to see Mike Trout win a World Series.
Man, me too. I feel like he is that. It's kind of like Matt Ryan right now without a World Series. Been a good player for so long. Just really, Matt Ryan's going to be a Falcon for life, but just being in the wrong system for a decent part of their career. And I feel like that's the thing with Mike Trout. I get it, postseason back in 2014, but nothing since then. And it's like big contract, this, that, but, where is Mike Trout's accolades at the end of the day, as far as the postseason goes,
No, so, yeah, I'm right there with you.
Going on into this last divisional game of the American League here. If you're just now tuning in, guys, I'm Adam Lewis, host of the What Off Season Sports Podcast. Thank you for tuning into today's episode. I have Joe Morley of the Joe Morley Sports Show with me today on the show. If you want to go follow Joe on the social media, Joe Morley Sports or joemorleysports.com, everywhere you can find him at is right on his website. Link in his bio, Joe Morley Sports on Instagram. Hitting this last divisional game here for the American League, the 2-spot Astros at the 3-spot Twins. I do think the Astros make quick work of the Twins here. Don't be shocked if it's a sweep, in my opinion. I just feel like the Astros are 100% better than the Twins at this point in the season. And the Twins are they're just not as good of a team as the Astros at the end of the day. That's how simple it is. I think it's a sweep possibly. And it's kind of unfortunate for the Twins because the way the seeding lines up, it's, they're going to be going up against such a powerhouse in the Astros at the point in the season here. But like I said, overall, the better team on paper, on the field, player by player. And like I said, it's absolutely trash. It is terrible right now that the Astros are, really low lives at the moment, but they're still going to be good. And I easily think they're going to be better than the Twins. Would you take the Astros over the Twins as well, Joe? Or you got some pushback on that?
No, I'm not gonna push you back on that. I would take the Astros over the Twins, and like you said, it's tough to be the Twins, to be that good of a team,
and to just get lined up in that type of spot.
Well, it's like pick your poison. You want to play the Astros or the Yankees? You're gonna lose either one of them.
Now we've got all of the seeding set for the championship series. We've got the 1-seed Nationals in the National League against the 3-seed Reds in the NLCS. I'm going to start here first before we get to our matchup for the ALCS. I'm going to tell you right now, get ready for a wild 7-game series with the Nationals and the Reds, where the Reds will refuse to go away late in games, all that firepower. By the time they get to the championship series, they are going to be foaming at the mouth, searching for that World Series appearance. And I'm telling you now, the Reds are going to refuse to go away late in games. They're going to provide the hot bats when they need it, and they're going to win some key games on the road, I believe. And the bullpen for the Nationals at the end of the day will be tested, as the Reds are going to be bursting, and they're just going to be really surging to get all that power working for them to be able to get the victory this late in the season. They are foaming at the mouth right now, like I said, for a World Series appearance at this point. But cue Howie Kendrick and cue Juan Soto to save the day in Game 7, late in the game. A strong outing from Steven Strasburg in Game 7. They will make sure Steven Strasburg, if not him, Max Scherzer is going to be on the mound for the Nationals. And honestly, it's just going to ensure the W in Game 7 over the Cincinnati Reds. The Reds are going to have this great season. It is going to come to a halt against the Washington Nationals at the end of the day. And the Nationals will win this one in a bleeding fest of 7 games. Don't be surprised if you have some 7, 8, 9-run games from both teams. Be ready for some extra innings. Joe, what do you think about this National League Championship matchup here?
If that's the National League Championship, yeah, I think you would have to lean more towards the Nationals, just because, like you said, the pitching, and it seems like Scherzer and Strasburger have another gear that they turn on when it comes to, the deeper they get in the playoffs. So
Max Scherzer's a monster, dude.
Oh,
He's really better than Strasburg in the playoffs. I just love Strasburg.
Yeah.
I watched Strasburg's debut, and I remember when he threw like double-digit strikeouts, man. Tangent, following off a little here in a tangent, but, man, I love me some Steven Strasburg. He's probably my favorite pitcher right now, to be honest with you. I really like him.
And to think that Arizona gave up on him basically and sent him to Detroit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he got tossed around. And Steven Strasburg was so young when he came into the league. I want to say he threw like 102 on his debut. I mean, he was popping the glove, man, with the fastball. That's what drew me to him, is like, that's why I like Aroldis Chapman so much, and that's why I like Tim Hudson so much. And, you have a pitcher like Steven Strasburg who has that arm but can still throw you a nasty off-speed pitch. I mean, the slider's still coming in there at, 90? That's insane. I mean, a changeup still at 85, 86. That's a fast changeup. The American League Championship Series, this is really going to hang with the series in the National League, because you're going to have the 1-seeded Yankees, and somehow those freaking Astros are going to get to the American League Championship Series. And this is where karma smacks every single Astro player in the face. New York will be firing on all cylinders at this moment. And honestly, after putting away the Angels in the previous series, the Yankees are not going to be stopped here. And I want to ask you something, Joe, and just for everybody listening right now. You guys remember back to Game 1 of the 2019 ALCS when you had the Astros and the Yankees. Same teams here, right? there were whistling sounds coming from the dugout that really didn't sit right with Yankees players. And I don't think they forgot about that yet. These guys have won the World Series 27 times, and I think they're absolutely going to smash the Astros. They're going to be pushing for the 28th championship win. You got Masahiro Tanaka, who actually pitched in that game one of the ALCS, and he was fine. It was en route to a 7-0 win with 6 shutout innings in that game, but not before both dugouts were going absolutely just wild, going back and forth. I mean, the whole Yankees dugout was pissed about it. They kept going back and forth about it, and I just don't feel like the Yankees are going to forget that. But more than anything, I think this is where karma comes in. I feel like this is where the Astros feel, yes, we're back here. You know, this scandal has been weighing on us so heavy, but we're just one series away. And that's when karma's like, nah, buddy, not today. You shouldn't have been here at first, but we're definitely going to stop you here. And this is where the fate of the Astros is going to hit them. And I think it hits right in this series. Yankees in 5, 6 at the most. Joe, where are you at with this one?
No, I definitely would take the Yankees over them. I like you said, I think the Yankees have been better than the Astros for years, for the last couple of years. They just injuries have hit them there and here and there. And there's been 2 teams that have really come out against the Astros, and it's been the Dodgers and it's been the Yankees. And those have been like the 2 most vocal teams speaking out against what the Astros did.
Especially the Dodgers.
Yeah, especially. And so, yeah, like you said, I think the Yankees have that extra chip on their shoulder, and they want to get it done, and they're going to be motivated to get it done. So if it's the Yankees, Astros, I believe they do it. And in that game, in the series that you're talking about, they blew them up the first 2 games in New York, and then went down there, and all of a sudden, so I don't know. Yeah, I would say I don't want to say 7 games because I don't see it going 7 games, but like you said, 5 games would probably be a good enough. 6 games at the most.
Yeah, I think they dispatched them in 5 games. I feel like the Astros could steal a game or 2 on the road. The Astros are still going to be a good team. Like, they still have most of their players on paper. They still have Altuve. They still have Bregman. They still have that bullpen. I mean, you just look at them last year compared to this year. There's not a whole lot of eye-popping differences. And, like, I get it. Like I said, their fate is going to hit them in the championship series. I think they'll have a decent season. They'll be able to push forward in the playoffs. But just when they think that they've escaped the obscurity of the situation, boom, that's when it's going to hit them.
I hope it hits them earlier.
Right. I'm saying, hopefully it hits them before even the postseason starts. Maybe they go like 15 and 35, 15 and 45, whatever, whatever it may be. But like I said, they just got too much firepower on paper. And I mean, you just look at how they play on the field. You can't deny the talent that the Houston Astros have. World Series prediction here on the What Off Season Sports Podcast. We've got the Nationals and the Yankees, and this series has a massive potential to go the distance. The 2 words that every sports fan wants to hear: Game 7, specifically in the biggest stage of them all. Simply put, these are going to be the 2 best teams in baseball. At the end of the day, they're going to be meeting in the final stage, and these 2 teams will have duked it out to the very end to get to the 2021 World Series. And you're going to look at them on paper. You're going to look at them on field. You're going to look at the veteran leadership, and 100%, these are going to be the 2 best teams in Major League Baseball, undoubtedly. And, I mean, just look at the matchups that you could have. Aaron Judge versus Howie Kendrick, Giancarlo Stanton versus Juan Soto, Garrett Cole versus Steven Strasburg, Max Scherzer up against that bullpen that the Yankees has. And the matchups are just going to be endless. I mean, you could have people tuning into this World Series, obviously for the great series that it'll be, but just to actually see how specific players could be pushing to outperform each other, because by the time the World Series gets here, the Nationals are going to be absolutely ready to capture the second one in a row. And for the Yankees being back to the World Series, and for what feels like ever now, they've done it 27 times. I get it. You know, none of the same players really still on that team, but they're going to be there. They're going to have that presence in the World Series. But overall, at the end, I feel like the Nationals will slip a time or 2 at home, letting the Yankees steal a few games. But the Nationals will be the better team when it comes time to the rubber meeting the road. And they're going to have home field. You're going to have Strasburg. You're going to have Scherzer. You're going to have Sanchez just really piloting that plane to that World Series championship. And they're going to give the Yankees trouble. And you even get into the bats here, heroics in the form of Howie Kendrick, Juan Soto, Kurt Suzuki, and Trey Turner, the speedy Trey Turner, the fastest player in the league. they're going to aid that as well. And at the end of the day, I'm going to be crowning the 2021 World Series champions as the Washington Nationals. Who would you take in the Nationals and Yankees for the World Series lineup, Joe?
See, I would hate to rain on your parade, but
Dude, rain on it. Let's do it.
If that's the World Series that we're looking at, you know, the Nationals versus the Yankees,
Mm-hmm.
I would think I would go. Me personally would say the Yankees would sweep them.
Ooh.
Just because I think,
Okay.
yeah, that would be my hot take on that one.
Hey,
Just because I like the
bro.
Yankees' talent,
Right.
and I mean, it's hard to give Scherzer and Strasburg a loss, but I think that Yankee lineup would just, I mean, it would be just too much for the Nationals to handle, and to get, you know, and to get to the World Series like the Nationals would have to. It's going to be a fight for them. It's not going to be, you know,
No,
an
it's
easy
not gonna
road.
be easy for the Nationals to get there at all.
So they might just be drained. I mean, they you know, they were drained a little bit last year just to get in there, and they actually pulled it off. They were able to pull it off, but you could see that it was getting to them. But I think the Yankees are just a loaded team. And if it was the Yankees Nationals, I would say I would go sweep. That would be me. That would just be my prediction for that
A
series.
sweep.
So
That's heavy there, man. Not a
yeah,
single win from Washington.
in the World Series, I would say no.
Oh, man, that's gonna be some fire content, man.
Yeah.
I love it, dude. I love it. But at the end of everything, Joe has the Yankees winning the World Series over the Washington Nationals. I have the Washington Nationals winning in Game 7 of the 2021 World Series. Real quick, Joe, I do want to put you on the spot. So you were talking about World Series predictions. I know we just basically ran through my form of the predictions, but who do you have in the big game?
See, the answer I've been giving everybody so far is the Dodgers and the A's.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think it's going to be the Dodgers Yankees? More than likely.
Right.
But I've been throwing the A's out there, and just because I want to see an underdog win this year, I so badly want to see an underdog win, and it sucks because I'm a Dodger fan, so it's kind of throwing myself under the bus. Like, why do you want your Dodgers to lose the World Series?
But you like the diversity.
Yeah. And I think it's good. I think it's good for baseball and any sport that we don't have the same winners every year, and to get the Oakland A's, I think it would mean so much to even that city, you know, after losing the Raiders.
Of course.